Thanks for watching News Echoes on Global African Affairs for the global audience. I'm so glad you're watching. My name is Shegun Johnson. We have so many stories to discuss here today, but let me first of all introduce you to my colleagues in the studio in Lagos. We have Bidi Nana. Bidi, you're welcome to the program. You've got to unmute yourself. You have to unmute yourself. I want you to unmute yourself so that we can hear you. I'm sure she will unmute herself all the way from Lagos. In Toronto, Canada, we have our brother, Sir George. Sir George, you're welcome to the program.
Good morning, Dr. Johnson, and good morning from viewers around the world. Welcome.
And in East London, in England here, which is freezing, -3 in some places, right in London, we have Ambassador Nathaniel Iyako. Ambassador, you're welcome to the program. You will need to unmute. You will need to unmute. We have yes, Nat, you have unmuted. Can you hear me? All right, we got to get these things sorted out in a second. We have Marky Milan. Marky Milan, you are welcome to the program.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. Good morning, Dr. Shagun. Good morning, Ambassador Nat. Good morning, Sir George.
Good morning.
Yes, cold, freezing, but we're here again.
Morning.
It's good to see everybody.
Ambassador Nat, say something. Ambassador Nat, you can you hear me?
I can hear you. I can hear you.
You can hear me now. I can hear you too. Okay, say good morning. I just want to be sure.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you. I can hear that.
Good morning.
Okay. Bidi in Lagos. Say good morning. We just want to hear your voice.
Good morning, viewers. Good to have you here today again.
Okay. Yes, you look beautiful, just like your voice. And let's go into action. Peter Obi was there at the Chatham House on Monday, this last Monday, and many have commented. There were so many people inside and outside of the Chatham House where Obi presented his 7-point agenda, and many people applauded. Some did not because of their various political affiliations. Before we go into why Nigerian senior politicians will have to come to Chatham House, let's first of all discuss the contents of what they bring and things like that. So let's start with Peter Obi. Though Mammud Yakubu, the professor of the chairman of INEC, was there yesterday, we'll also look into the contents of what he brought. And but let's start with Peter Obi, the man the Sky News say may bring the real change to Nigeria. That was the Sky News. That wasn't me. Sir George, Peter Obi was in Chatham House. What are your impressions?
Well, number one is it was refreshing to hear him speak. And not only that, but when you compare his presentations versus some of the old ones that came before, it was quite elaborate and very robust, and it was interesting, very, very much interesting. You could see the readiness of the man to move such forward and take Nigeria to another level. You know, versus trying to appoint people to answer your questions all in the week, instead of you answering the question, but you appoint your aides to answer your question. You know, it tells you the difference between what is and what is to be. So that is the difference there.
Oh, okay. Do you think he was acceptable to the Western media, the way he presented?
Well, you know, because content is the key. If you come there unprepared, and you don't know what to say or how to say it, that's a different thing altogether. The man is prepared, and I can tell you what, one of the things that one of the things that kind of affects me a little bit is the fact that such individual with his intellectual capacity and capability and readiness to govern in the way it's supposed to be will make the people who don't want Nigeria to succeed to wobble on their knees. These are the things you have to understand, because if the state of the country, the way it is, profits a lot of people today, when they see such a man, a lot of them will begin to wobble. And I don't know, but everybody believes that originally governance was in Nigeria was handed over to certain group of people that will just basically, you give them a cup of tea and whatever you tell them, they'll sign because of their inability to read or to understand what they call the Western civilization. So that's exactly the key there.
Okay, let me ask our sister in Lagos, Bidi. Bidi, what impact does this Chatham House have on Nigerians? I mean, this Chatham House discussion, as Peter Obi was speaking, I know it was made online. How many Nigerians were online? Could you spend their data for that? And what impact does it have in changing their mind to vote for him?
A lot of Nigerians, even the people who are not Labour Party members, to watch and listen to him. But first, let me say, Peter made a very great presentation at Chatham House. Even the British people, the Western world people, they were days at the man, Peter B, his intelligence, his composure, and what he has to offer. Do you understand? But before that, my question was this. I was even praying that Peter B should not go to Chatham House. I don't know, my personal view. The reason being that I keep asking, why should we, Nigerians or Africans, always run to Western world? That has been a question. I've been praying that he should not go, but I know he will go. But I just pray that him going to Chatham House, if God's grace, he assumes office, will be the end of Nigerians running to Chatham House, running to Western world. Because if you look at Chatham House, they say their mission is to help governments and societies build sustainable, secure, and prosperous nation. And for the past years, have they actually been doing that? Like Sajos said, some countries, some societies have interest in some of these African countries. Indirectly, they are part of what is happening in Africa. So if you see that their mission of Chatham House is not really truth, they are not really true to what they say.
Yeah, of course. We have over 200 million people in Nigeria. Do you think this thing touched them in any form or shape?
I'm telling you, a lot of people are changing their view, their mindset. I think this Chatham House presentation had actually got so many people. There's this particular clip they've been sharing where people say that if I am not corrupt, if my family member some
Okay, I'll come back to you. Ambassador Nat in London, I want to ask you, what do you think Peter Obi achieved by coming to Chatham House? His objectives, number one, what are they, and did he achieve them?
Well, I think to some level is both positive and negative. But I think Peter Obi, it seems, does not even need any introduction in the Western press, especially in the UK. They know Peter Obi already. What they did yesterday, is it yesterday or
On
Monday?
Monday.
Was to hear directly from Peter became he delivered what the Western press want to hear. For the first time, all the presidential candidates that have been around so far, nobody has come to tell us that he will deal with the big boys. And our prayers are with Peter Obi that if he becomes the president of Nigeria, he will deal with the big boys, because these are
Now,
the
who are these big boys?
boys.
Because I'm trying to know who are the big boys.
If that question should go to Priscilla Wampo. If you know her, wherever you can get her, she needs to tell us who the big boys are, because she asked Peter Obi that question. And Peter Obi has adopted her as his sister. So the big boys are the people who are holding Nigeria to jugular. They don't want us to move. They don't want us to move forward. They are the owners of Nigeria, and they have pocketed all our resources, and they are making sure we don't move anywhere.
Yeah, thank you.
So because we had well over 100,000 people hooked on Monday to listen to Peter Obi.
Watching online.
Yes, and Sky News have started a campaign for Peter Obi. Sky News in the UK.
Yes.
They've started a campaign for him.
Actually, that question on Sky News goes straight to Mark in Milan. I'm reading from the Sky News. Peter Obi's supporters say he is the opposite of the all-powerful former army general or rich man who typically takes power through money and influence in Nigeria. He carries his own bag and owns only one wristwatch. That was not me. But before you answer, before you start talking about this Peter Obi, who is now being like he said, like Nat said, he's now being campaigned for by Sky News. Can we have a clip of this Peter Obi in Chatham House so that people will know what we're talking about and they'll be able to make up their own mind? Studio, give us a clip on Peter Obi.
First question is, how do you deal with the legislators, considering that Labour Party is probably not in control of the legislative arm of the government? Quite frankly, I've been through this as a governor. When I was elected and sworn in as the governor, I have 30 House members not from my party. In fact, nobody from my party was involved. As long as you are pursuing what is right, everybody will go with you, because the legislator is insecure in his place. He knows that his people are without job, and that's what he wants. He wants development. What else is he elected to do? It becomes a problem when you are pursuing transactions.
Thank you very much, Studio. Mark, is this what they listen? And they said this man is the next change. That's the way the Sky News put it. It's going to be the next change. Mark, what do you say?
Yes, Dr. Shagun, thank you very much. Yes, Peter Obi at Chatham House broke a lot of record. He came out raw, he came out straight, and not minding whose gods are being hot. So he said some of those words he used, we took notes here in the studio, is we will destroy the structure that has impoverished Nigerians. And that's a strong word, Dr. Shagun. Peter Obi said his administration will fight that structure. And like you said, Ambassador Nat said, somebody asked the question, the big boys. Now, the big boys are the people preventing the power sector from functioning properly. And he said he's going to deal with them. Peter Obi also gave us assurance of what he said people call structure. He said the structure of Nigeria is a structure of criminality. Dr. Shagun, these are very deep, strong words that hits the marrow. You know, he said he's going to put a stop to that structure of criminality. He said he's also going to put a stop to those that stand in the way of the progress of Nigeria. So we were really happy to hear him say these words. Great words.
Now let me stop you there and ask this question. He was making his strong points, but how far did these strong points get to the 200 million Nigerians at home and 93.4 million projected voters in Nigeria. Do you think those strong words will get to them, or is just to make the Nigerians in diaspora to hail him? Why, in essence, why did he come to say it like this in Chatham House? What is the reason?
From the media stats, we took an analysis of all those that were tuned on to Chatham House. 45% of Nigerian population all saw that. 45%.
Wow. That's a lot. Yeah, that's a lot. So that makes sense, isn't it? Mm.
Very well, very well. On all the social media handles, YouTube, Twitter, Facebook, it was jammed up. Numbers, heavy viewership. So somehow he got to that audience. But the message now is the target now is to get to the grassroots.
Okay, I have one more question for you. They said that these politicians come to the Chatham House so that they can raise up awareness among Nigerians in diaspora for their financial support. Will that be correct?
For their financial support. But
will that be correct?
Yes, Doc. But we're stopping that now. That would be reversed. We're not doing all of that again. First of all, let's also say that we hope this Chatham House saga ends this tenor. We don't need the white man to tell us what to do. We don't need the white man to hear what we want to do for ourselves. I mean, the white man has his own problem. UK English people have a lot of problems. So we could also or just come on the business table and discuss, but not to come tell them what we want to do, because we are becoming open to even security. When we say these words to them, they could use this leverage on this to strike us economically, security-wise, and every other wise. So we really
and strategy developments. Yeah. Yes, okay, let me ask the same question to Sir George in Toronto.
Yes,
Chatham House, why, and when will it stop, Sir George?
Well, so many things that we know today, what we call the status quo, is shifting to the other side. Well, we started with, our mother, our grandmother, who actually, when we became independent, was there already. And so far, we have continued to do so. Now, there are some advantages of, going there to speak, just like Peter came to Canada. He traveled around the world among the diasporans to get the kind of support that he needed. And number one is, but who wants to go outside and wash their dirty laundry? Because this is exactly what is happening there. This is what has been, and it needs to change now. Because if we are doing such, I don't know any other country who will go to another country to legitimize themselves as a good candidate in order to become a president in their own country. And the worst part of the whole entire thing is even that the chairman of INEC went there. I mean, I'm wondering, I'm like,
we're just going to discuss that one next. We're going to discuss that one next. Let me use this opportunity to welcome Dr. Ibe from Moscow, Russia. Dr. Ibe, you're welcome to the program.
Thanks so much for having me. I hope I'm audible.
Yes, Ambassador Nat, you've been ambassador for Nigeria, and our chairman of INEC, Nigerian INEC, Independent National Electoral Commission. Don't let us go into whether it is independent or not, because it's chosen by the president. It can be retired by the president, but we call them Independent National Electoral Commission. The chairman came and gave certain statistics, how he will need 500,000 policemen to monitor the voting on the 25th of February, how he will need about 1 million people to prosecute this election. And he said so many things. And of course, he told the Nigerians in diaspora that it's not going to happen for them. They're not voting this election, which everybody knew. But he said it has to be changed from the law. What more can you tell us that Mammud Yakubu came to tell the whole world?
Mammud Yakubu came to waste the taxpayers' money, Nigerian taxpayers' money, with his entourage. What business has he got Nigerians in diaspora are not even going to vote in 2023. Nigerians in Nigeria have not yet got sufficient information on INEC activities. People cannot collect their PVC. And Yakubu again, we all know, I mean, some of us know, he is not the head of INEC. He doesn't decide the elections in Nigeria. It is the big boys that in the past have written the results of elections, whether beaver or not beaver, electronic transmission of results. So Mammud Yakubu just wasted our resources to
Well,
come
is
to
that not such
UK.
kind of transparency that this man is representing Nigeria at the highest level of election? So he came to discuss the nitty gritty openly, and then to ensure that the world knows he's being transparent as ambassador.
On the election day, nobody knows Yakubu Mohammed. It is the voters who decide, and they need to be well informed.
Let,
Honestly, it was a waste of
let me
resources, waste of
let me see
time.
whether do we have a clip of Yakubu Mohammed where he was saying something. Studio.
It's on the
No,
screen.
no, please. No,
It's on the
No,
please.
we don't
screen.
have the clip. Yeah, his picture is there, but he looks very handsome. But Nigeria needs more than handsomeness. Dr. Ibe, do you agree with Ambassador Nat, or you think, look, he's come to explain, maybe he will get some uh, help from the Western world? In the past, they have helped with money and suggestions and ideas. Do you think that's why Mammud Yakubu too following the trail of the politicians? Dr. Ibe.
Yes, it's let's say the opinion of someone I spoke to who was invited to talk to Nido Russia. That was the spokesperson for the NMPP party, Ladipo Johnson Esquire. I asked him this question about the Chatham House and why um, presidential candidate should be flying over to give speech there. He said that why am I engaging with Nido Russia? We are engaging because we believe that we should engage with all the Nigerians in diaspora, and I think he has a point because the geese that lays the golden egg needs it is an opinion shaper and needs to be convinced, pampered, and the idea needs to be sold to them because obviously Nigerians in diaspora will influence based by virtue of supporting in or helping in national development, capacity building, and all of that. So yes, of course, the opinion of diaspora is very, very important. I think anybody who is dependent on diaspora reimbursement would definitely vote anybody that helps them to get that. Now, but it
But what
doesn't
you have said,
negate.
is there any way we can measure that the diaspora disbursement of money to their fellow Nigerians will directly affect their voting pattern? Is there any study we can get to know that one?
There are lots of studies that show that voting is strictly tied to economy everywhere. The universal, mostly universal. If people are allowed freely to vote, economy is the most important. And what more can be than the person who takes care of their short-term, medium-term, even long-term interest, and with all the reimbursements. So it's that people in Nigeria will vote for whoever helps them economically. Now,
Okay,
about the shape.
let's take that
Let, let,
statement.
let, let, let me just say a few seconds. But it doesn't negate the fact that it's kind of is disgraceful though to be making these speeches in a foreign country that doesn't politics on Nigerian soil. It doesn't negate that fact, but we have to kind of find a way to make the
To
best
speak
out
to
of both ends.
ourselves. All right, thank you very much, Doctor. Sister Bidi, I just want to quickly, in one sentence, do you think Nigerians will vote according to their benefactors from the Western world in diaspora? You have to unmute. You still have to unmute, Biddy. Okay, we can hear you now. Yes, we can hear you now. Yes, I was asking if Nigerians will vote because their relatives sent money home and it says vote A, vote B. Do you think it works like that?
Yeah, it does. It does a lot. I'm telling you, it does. Let me tell you, most of our aged parents at home don't even know who they vote. You understand? And those are the people, when you talk about voting power, the voting power of Nigeria are in the grassroots. And most of these people, as we stand now, they vote based on what we tell them. That is why when you come to Nigeria, all these kings, all these monarchies, they have power because they can easily convert these people and tell them, vote for so person, vote for so person. So if there are people who live abroad, call them and say, Mama, Papa, this is the person you're going to vote. It's been working and it will still work. I'm telling you. Now, please, Dr. Phil, can I say something about Yakubu, INEC going to Chatham House?
Quickly.
Now, it's in Nigeria, as of early January, we have about 93.5 million Nigerian registered. And we have 6.7 million who have not collected their PVC. These are the immediate problem we have in Nigeria. And then, as it stands now, a lot of people go to collect their PVC. They will stay from morning to night and they will not collect their PVC. It's not easy for people to collect their PVC. Many Nigerians who want to vote cannot.
So you are using this forum to inform Yakubu Mammud that he should do more work in Nigeria distributing PVC.
He has a lot of work to do in Nigeria than jumping to Chatham House. We don't have any business in Chatham House with INEC there. I wonder what he went there to do. It's not even contesting for any office.
All right. Thank you very much. Maki Milan, we understand that Atiku has been invited to the Chatham House, but he's not responding. Why? Why will Atiku not come to Chatham House where his colleagues are coming? Mark, are you there?
Sorry.
It appears yes.
I'm there. Yes, I'm there. Sorry for that. Yes, it's a very interesting situation there. Chatham House Director of African Program, one Alex Vine.
Let's just call him Mr. Alex Vine. Yeah. Okay.
Alex Vine, yeah. Disclosed that the presidential candidate of PDP, that's Atiku Abubakar, has not responded to the invitation that was sent to him. We don't know why, because some years back, I think he was there in Chatham House. So we don't know why he's stepping back this time.
Will you think he's rebuffing them because one of his campaign council managers, and I'm talking of Dukwesi, was arrested last week? So it's like, if you do that to one of mine, I'm not coming. Will that be the reason?
I wouldn't know what his reasons are, but there is a mounting pressure on people like Atiku, our PDP presidential candidate. There's pressure on him, coupled with the fact that, like we heard, his health is not too. He has issues with his health.
Okay, but he was in Ekiti. He was in Ekiti campaigning. Anyway, I want to take a quick poll in the studio, just in one sentence. Do you think, starting from you, Mark, do you think our politicians should be coming to Chatham House? At least next 4 years, we're going to elect another. Should they be coming? Yes or no?
No.
Dr. Ibe in Moscow, should they be coming? I mean, it will give publicity. Many countries will know us. Should they be coming? Yes or no?
No. Find another avenue for engagement with the aspirants.
Thank you. Ambassador Nat in London, should they be coming? Yes or no?
1,000,000 times no.
Okay, okay. BD in Lagos, should they be coming? Because anything from London is beautiful in Nigeria. Shouldn't they be coming? Yes or no?
It makes us look cheap.
Oh, it makes us look
They
cheap. So the
shouldn't.
answer is no. Sir George in Toronto, Canada, should they be coming to Chatham House to chat with us or not?
I will add it 1,000,000,000 times no.
Times too. On that note, we'll go on a short break. Please stay with us, and we'll be right back discussing why the governor of Central Bank is taking the center stage in Nigerian discussion. Don't go away. We'll be right back.
Ladies and gentlemen. Hey, ADC na the party for you and me.
Good morning, fellow Nigerians. This is that year we've all been waiting for. I want to wish you a happy new year. Welcome to the year 2023. 2023 is our year of ushering in a new Nigeria. For Nigerians in the diaspora, I urge you to please, if you have your PVC, if you can make it back home, go home and be part of the voting. Go home before February 25th, when we'll be ushering in new leadership, new ways of doing things, and a better Nigeria for ourselves. And if you can make it, I urge you to talk to your people back home. Make them see the importance of bringing a dynamic new set of leadership in Nigeria. This is the year for ADC, African Democratic Congress. Now, ADC, aside the presidential candidate, ADC has about 1,000 and something number of legislators. They'll be going into the different arms of lawmaking, the House of Rep, the House of Senate. Now, you don't want to miss this. ADC is the dynamic party. ADC is a party with a great sense of leadership. ADC has its candidates that are ready to usher in for us a new Nigeria. So we're checking ADC leadership. We're voting for ADC leadership. ADC in the House of Rep, ADC in the House of Senate, ADC in all angles of lawmaking policy. So please vote ADC. Vote ADC 2023 election. Be sure you're having
Be this world, changing your mindsets.
Welcome back. Any political party advert is private. We do unbiased analysis. So one of the parties in Nigeria is ADC, and that advert was private. We want to discuss the governor of the central bank, Emefiele, Godwin Emefiele. Many of us know him as the #1 banker in Nigeria, but he's been in problem in recent times, and the DSS wanted to arrest him. He went to court. The court stopped the DSS. DSS means Department of State Security. They believe that he's been funding some terrorist groups, and therefore they wanted to invite him. So Emefiele went to court, and the High Court in Abuja stopped the DSS from arresting him, charging him, and also stopped the Inspector General of Police from arresting the governor of Central Bank. The Governors Forum are the latest people who have invited him to come and answer questions from them, because the old Naira notes is stopping in about 2 weeks' time, or even less than 2 weeks, January 31st, and not many people have received the money. Nigeria has over 200 million people and many of them have not even seen, talk less of changing Naira with them. Let's discuss this man. And I want to start with our man in Toronto, Canada. Sir George, what is the problem? Should we just say that there must be legislation that will bar all CBN governors in the future never to dabble into politics? This man appeared to have gone into politics. His name was put among the APC, who paid 100 million naira to become the presidential candidate of that party. And I don't know whether he is playing the cards right as the central banker or he is dabbling into politics. Now politics is affecting his life. What do you say, Sir George?
Well, this is what we are seeing, and even that move that he made while he was still the governor of the Central Bank of Nigeria, is considered very unacceptable among the public and should not be. That was unacceptable move. How can you be the one controlling the currency of the country and then you want to muscle yourself into becoming the president of the country? This is those little things, all these ethical issues that we need to deal with in Nigeria. Yes, I'm with you when you say that there should be a law that will bar or make sure that if you are the Central Bank of Nigeria, there are certain things that you should never endeavor to do while you are there. Now, after you leave office, you are your own personal individual. You can do what you want. But in this particular situation, as the central bank person, where did you get all that money from to begin with? That's the question that a lot of people are going to be asking. Are you making enough money with your salary to be able to now, get yourself into that particular situation? This is the impetus of our people, where they do not care what happens, or what they do, because you feel like you have money, therefore you can do whatever you want when you want it. So these are the unacceptable issues. Right now, we don't even know whether, because the news is telling us that the security apparatus went into his office and seized his office. But these are allegations. It's alleged that such happened. Some people are saying that it's fake news. We don't know what happened. So
even some people are saying that his house, as we speak, is surrounded by police officers, and nobody appeared to be responding to that.
Yeah, because the question is that fake news? Is that real? Because these are the people on top. And remember, this man is at the place where he could open up his mouth and actually implicate a whole lot of people. So many people would not want him to be arrested or to get in trouble.
Yeah.
And that is one thing we have to understand.
Thank you, sir. Ambassador Nan, you and I know this man that he was in the good book of Asorok. That is, many people love him in the presidency. How come the same presidency is gunning after him? We have seen how they gunned after Anoge, they removed him. Gone after Magu, they removed him. Did they want to remove this man and first of all paint him like he's a very bad person and then remove him? Is that what is going on, Ambassador? Nat, are you hearing us?
Yeah, I'm hearing you.
So what's your take on the question?
I think it's the network.
Well,
or shall I read?
The position of the central bank governor is guaranteed in the Constitution of Nigeria, and it's some level of independence from the other arms of government. You see, but when, as an individual, he has crossed, excuse me, crossed the red line. You cannot eat your cake and have it. You cannot be governor of the central bank and you want to be at the same time play politics of being president of Nigeria. This has weakened his position anyway, because he's not seeking protection from the military to ensure that he's not arrested. But Emefiele, I have no tears shed for him
what's the story of
Those
what's the story of money that he should have disbursed,
that's
$53
an
million
Islamic, and
dollars?
that
Oh, we'll have to come back to you then. Dr. Ibe, Emefiele, they're making a disgrace person out of him. Why?
You know, um, in Nigerian politics, it's about form rather than substance. Well, he has been used to make this reprinting of money, currency control. Maybe his use has expired. That's number one. Number two, recall that he escaped arrest. Could he have been tipped? And was it a paid tip or a free tip? Number three, a person who controls the currency exchange rate, you cannot ask him how he made his money. He can. I think on one of the shows I was watching, he can basically give you the official rate for any amount of dollars. You just go on the street and then you can give that same money for parallel rate, and in less than 1 second you become a billionaire. So people who control, who have access to exchanging dollars at that is different from the parallel rate at the government rate, and they have access to determining that rate, they can make as many billions as they want from dollars. And I'm not even talking about other shady deals. So it's definitely no surprise that he has a lot of money. 100 million is probably too small for such if someone misuses his authority as the central bank governor. Now, the last but not the least is the um, his his role in politics coming up for presidency. Yes, it's an ethical issue, but at the same time, we cannot say that it's really the worst of all the ethical problems that we have in Nigeria. It's not the worst. I think the most important thing is what is his policy, which he has pushed for in the recent month, which is the reprinting of the money and the limitation of withdrawals. What does it have to tell us about the election? That's the most important thing for Nigerians. Not
Okay, I'm going to ask Bidi that question, the reprinting of the money. Bidi, you are on the ground. We are not in Nigeria. You are there. Now, this policy of changing the currency is ending in 11 days' time. 11. How well has the new Naira gone through? Let's just take Lagos State. Let's leave the hinterlands. Has it gone down well in terms of people now spend the new Naira notes?
It has not gone down well. Most Nigerians, I can tell you that about 40% of Nigerians have not even seen the new Naira. Just about owning it. So I wonder this deadline. I doubt if it will hold. It has not gone really down. Do you understand? And talking about Emefiele action is actually illegal. Going by Central Bank Act, if you go to Section 9, it says the governor of Central Bank and the deputy will devote their time of this period to everything that has to do with the relationship money, and they will not engage in any other even vacation. So what Emefiele is doing is actually illegal. But the way Nigeria will handle it is what I don't know. The one nobody has seen it. Half of Nigerians have not seen it. So we're still watching how they want to make 31st of January the deadline. But you remember the governor of Chorus had invited him for discussion. And this
Yes.
discussion they invited him, I think it's actually medicine after death. This discussion would have held when that statement was made or even before the reprinting. But well, let's watch and see what will come out of that forum.
Okay, thank you very much. Mark in Milan, the governor of the central bank of a country should not be enmeshed in such politics. I mean, like some people said, dirty Naira moving all over the place, bullion vans coming in and out of the central bank, no explanation. Now he has to appear in the High Court to go and explain why he has not disbursed certain amount of money. He has disbursed part of it. Policemen are surrounding. At a time that the Nigerian economy needs someone who is straightened up. Is this the end of Emefiele in that position?
We hope so, and we pray so. A lot of misdoings is going on around central bank. The central bank has not lived up to the ethics of a financial institution. Nigerian central bank has not lived up to that standard. Emefiele didn't handle that whole position very well. Like Dr. Oyibe said, we saw a lot of impunity of the law. And this is because Nigerians don't understand, we don't understand what it means to be at the top of something, a leadership. So the man has a lot to say, he has a lot to do, and we hope this ends his tenure. Because first of all, yes, that change of the redesign of the Naira was not a very bad idea, but it came at a point when it looked like a personal thing. And we couldn't, I mean, a lot of people complained. Now we have just a week and a half to that process, and the money is still not in the hands of people. So how do we plan? How is all this going out? Dr. Shagun, I put this question back to you. What kind of policy are we running in our central bank? Emefiele has a lot to answer. He has a lot to answer, and we hope he comes out to talk to Nigerians, tell us what he's doing with our money. It's our money. It's not his money. He can't treat the country like it's his property. It's
well, thank you, Mark. I studied political science at the university, and it's a science because of the level of predictability that we should be able to make. And for that reason, it is called a science. What's the degree of predictability and how should we hold on to it? And I want to put it to question, Sir George. Do you think what Emefiele has done, declaring that he will be changing the Naira to the face of the Naira, is it really in the Nigerian interest? And if so, was the time not too short? Will you predict that a statement will come from him between now and the 31st that is going to be extended till June? Will you predict something like that or not?
Well, I believe he better. Because number one, we have been so reactive in the way we handle issues. Pressure must have been put on him by a certain group of people because of the corruption that is going in Nigeria. And actually, when you look at the statistical analysis, and part of the reasons given, whereby a lot of people are storing so much money, where now we have more than 50 to 60% of our money stored underground, stored in the sewers, and stored all over the places because of corruption in Nigeria. I see a need for such change, but it should have been done systematically and responsively, rather than just rushing into it, making all kinds of reactional moves, and you're not ready. Did he think it through before he changed the color of the money? Because we didn't even change our Naira. We just changed the color of the money. That's all that was done. So if I find a way to take one of these $1,000 now and add some color to it, I can still spend it. That's all that needs to be done. I go and find a way to recolor my own money, and I put it out there, and people will accept it, because that's all that took place. So the problem, I believe, is that they reacted than studying the consequences of such fast move before they made the move. Now the money has already been printed, most probably, but yet, and remember something that I'm going to warn Nigerians about: the government is about to change. Every single move that is being made from the central bank to the INEC, let's watch out carefully. I know Yakubu went out there and saying we are ready to change the government, but remember, One major problem we have in Nigeria, we don't go back to check. We don't hand over the way we are supposed to. There are no checks and balances. If there is ₦1 trillion today and Emefiele decides to move that money out of the central bank into another bank, when the new central bank governor comes in, there is no check. There won't be any checks and balances. Nobody will go back and say, how much did you have in your coffers? How did he come to this amount of money? And even if it comes out, they will use such money to shut everybody up. That is one thing we need to watch out for. Because in Nigeria today, our country has already been mortgaged. Look at the state of the economy in Nigeria. Look at the inflation in our country. Who is going to check Buhari? Who is going to check some of the government officials that are today that are doing these corrupt practices? Nobody.
I thank you for that analysis. BD, you are on the ground. Are the people anticipating a change in the date? BD, is the thing frozen? Okay, I'll come back to her. Ambassador Nat, do you think it is in the interest of Nigeria that Emefiele should change his mind on January 31st deadline? I think we're having challenges here.
Yes.
They change the date. Nigerians have a habit of not keeping to deadlines. They like this issue of the cashless system practice in Nigeria. CBN gave a long notice, but nobody seems to want to care what's going on. It's one day at a time. So, and it is in the interest of politicians that you extend the dates. But they don't zero in the man.
Okay.
Or the
when it comes to when it comes to money, there will be frozen images. I understand. Dr. Ibe, Dr. Ibe, let's take it a step higher. Well, the 2023 budget has been passed by the National Assembly, and trillions of naira will be borrowed. Is this what we want?
Of course not. You know, it's bad that a rich country like us is borrowing, but what is even worse is what the money is being used for. The main problem with Nigeria is the cost of government. The biggest problem with Nigeria is the cost of government. Then follow the second on the list would be maybe the only thing that it's second to is insecurity. But I'm speaking from the economic front because you need security as a basis to establish economy. But if we focus strictly on economy, the cost of government is just too much. Then secondly, the spending of budget on infrastructure, factors of production, things that increase both products and reduce unemployment, make our youth to be gainfully employed, is the second problem. And then the third problem is even when those intentions are there to some limited degree, the execution is very poor. There's a lackadaisical attitude to management and renovation. Almost everything, whether it's bridges, sometimes like when I look in Moscow here, I see some roads. The road have not even become bad. That's the road does not even have pothole. They came themselves and destroy it and redo new one because the lifespan is rich. That's rich. Like what? Sometimes I'm puzzled. There has to be some kind of framework for maintenance and execution of projects, and these are the main problems that we are facing. So of course we need to reduce cost of government, more factors of production, and corruption. Of course, if government is reduced, corruption definitely will follow. That's less corruption, I mean.
Absolutely. Mark in Milan, 70% of the budget will be spent on recurrent expenditure, salaries, papers, and the rest. 70%. Only less than 30% will be spent on capital projects. What does this say?
Sad. Dr. Shegun, I was going through with a young man that studied the budget, the 2023 budget, and he gave me some real good points as an expert. He said, first of all, many people are expressing dissatisfaction over this budget deficit in the 2023 budget that was signed by President Muhammad Buhari. He said people are expressing their dissatisfaction because the budget speaks a lot of implications. He said the budget itself is a deficit on its own, a 12.1 trillion deficit that will compel Nigerians to continue to borrow. So we'll be going back into the cycle of borrowing and increasing our debt profile, and borrowing and increasing our debt profile. And he said any country that is borrowing to service debt is in a debt trap already, and this will consume that country no time soon. And that is exactly where Nigeria is heading to. We're heading to that debt trap of borrowing and servicing our debt and all that. So this is a professional talking, so it's not just anybody. And he was giving good insight. Yeah, so he said some of the expenditures the government do not add, that they are doing now, does not add value to our economy. Some of the things they are doing does not add any value, and such expenditures, he advised, should be discarded. So this man was saying he had a lot to say.
That's why we're not seeing development, isn't it? We're not seeing development.
Absolutely, Dr. Shegun. That's why, because it's just that cycle of servicing debt, borrowing, servicing debt, using for frivolous things, servicing debt, and we just...
Okay, can the studio get me Ambassador Nat? I want to ask him a question, Ambassador Nat. Ambassador Nat, the state of insecurity in Nigeria is still poor, isn't it? We understand one Reverend Koro was abducted, and they have made attempts 3 times in his life. Tell us more. Ambassador Nat, are you still frozen?
Thank you very much. This week Sunday now, beginning of this week on a Sunday. Are you hearing me?
Yes, clearly.
Are you hearing me?
Yes.
Hello? Okay.
We can hear you. Go on.
This is a Catholic. Okay. The Catholic Father Archie of Kafin Koro. Kafin Koro is in Niger State, Pai Koro local government. This Father Archie survived the Christmas bombing of the Catholic Church in Suleja. If some of us can flash back our minds to that incident, when on Christmas Day, the Catholic Church was bombed, so many people were killed. The man survived. He moved to Mina. There was another attack in the Catholic Church where he was. He survived.
You know why we're...
Sorry, Ambassador. Miles away.
Sorry, Ambassador. Let me just pause you, because this story we have to carry over till next Wednesday. I'm just looking at the time. We have less than 1 minute, but we want to put it in our minds that in state of security, Nigeria is still very, very poor, and we appear not to be getting headway. And maybe the politicians should take it into consideration. Some 8 other women going to church were abducted, and they're asking for money. Students of Federal Government College, their parents are begging for 100 million naira for their release. And I think the only thing I have to do now is to thank you, ladies and gentlemen, because time is just on our side, especially those who have woken up to join us. And I'm talking of Sir George in Toronto, Dr. Ibe in Moscow, And of course, those of us who are having a normal time, like PD, Mark in Milan, and Nat in London. Thank you very much. We just don't have the time, but we'll continue next Wednesday. And on Friday, don't forget, News Echoes will give you something good on global event. God bless you. Bye-bye.
Bless everyone. Thanks for watching today. I love you.